Open or lose it, people!
Save me, Dynamite!
Let go of me!
Damn! Damn, Bakugo was just... What is up, my boys and girls? We've got a new one for y'all today. Today, we gonna be watching Bakugo versus Reze Death Battle. Now, I'm gonna be so real. My money's on Reze. I already put my money on this. When this was a meme or whatever, I put my money on Reze. And here's my reasoning why Reze is gonna win. In my opinion, she's going to win because I feel like if she keeps a pack of blood on her and just keep regenerating, she will be good. Bakugo, it's low-key a test of survival. I'm not gonna lie, this man Bakugo can do some damage. I'm not gonna lie. This nigga was putting up some crazy feats, but I believe Reze can win this, so. Here's hope. Y'all already know, go to the original creators and all that shit, and let's get straight to it.
Well, well, look who's here.
I'm gonna be so real. I feel like I'm gonna get hoed so hard already. So I can only pray.
Bakugo versus Reze.
The god of explosions versus the bomb devil.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Ah, Wiz, there's nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning, the rush of the shockwave, the flash of combustion. I love it when stuff goes boom.
And no one knows that feeling better than Katsuki Bakugo.
When your name literally means powerful bomb, it's no
Is that how old he is? Okay, he's 25. I'm guessing from 25 from the finishing of the chapter. So let's.
wonder he was born with the quirk explosion.
I don't need to read his shit.
It lets Bakugo create
he was only
humongous.
that man. Well, 5'8's not the. He's got it on the short side, kind of.
Kabooms from his palms. I could only dream of having hands that rad.
Quirks are genetic superpowers that most humans are born with. Bakugo inherited his quirk from his parents. Specifically, it was a combination of his father's combustible acid sweat and his mother's glycerin skin secretions.
Making Bakugo sweat basically like nitroglycerin. And the more he sweats, yeah, the bigger the booms. His parents basically made the perfect kid, absolutely oozing with shonen main character energy.
Bakugo felt similarly, so much so that he started bullying his childhood friend who happened to be born without a quirk.
Yeah, okay, he's kind of a snot-nosed turd sometimes, but come on, Wiz, the kabooms! They're so cool.
Quirks are a natural biological feature of a person's body. In the same way that we don't really think about walking or breathing, Bakugo's explosions became like any other limb, especially.
I'm gonna be so real. Now that I'm rewatching some of these clips, My Hero Academia is such a good anime. I remember when I finished the newest season that came out. Anime. Back then, I used to think this anime was bad. But I'm gonna be so real, it was because of the fan base. And then I was also watching like near the beginning, so like it was only just some slice of life high school shit. So then it really didn't interest me till I actually got past that.
With his rigorous training.
Bakugo quickly picked up on how to use his explosions to obliterate anything in sight, block attacks, launch himself around, and quickly maneuver in midair at hypersonic speeds, which requires a ton of focus and on-the-fly calculations.
And despite getting this incredibly dangerous quirk when he was 4, he somehow never killed himself or anyone else that we know of. Bakugo was truly a prodigy, destined for greatness.
And his only goal was to surpass Japan's numero uno superhero and his personal idol,
And the GOAT.
All Might. In Bakugo's mind, the only person who wins no matter what. Absolute victory. No problem for the main character.
Except Katsuki wasn't the protagonist that he thought he was. That would be Izuku Midoriya, the quirkless child Bakugo bullied. In truth,
And what the fan base thinks is a healthy relationship, apparently. Apparently, it's something that the fan base, for some reason, thought, I want these two niggas kissing. That's all I'm saying.
threatened by Izuku's tenacity despite being quirkless.
Really? That crybaby's the main character? Well, Bakugo's inferiority complex would only get worse when Deku somehow landed a quirk that was just as cool, and both were accepted to the same superhero high school, UA High.
There, he would learn to be a superhero and fully develop his ultimate moves.
Like flying through the sky faster than sound with turbo speed, blinding people with stun grenade, focusing his blasts into armor-piercing shots, or making a big-ass tornado of death.
The howitzer impact involves Bakugo spinning himself in midair with his explosions, building up a tremendous amount of swirling oxygen, and then igniting it all for one hell of a boom.
He's
Not gonna lie, he had the coolest power quirk in my opinion. Like, he had the coolest one, next to like the whips that Midoriya had.
pretty smart when it comes to strategizing mid-fight. He even developed new techniques for his quirk faster than Deku did.
UA High also aided Bakugo's development by preparing him with his iconic Grenadier bracers, gauntlets that allow him to store up his sweat, gross, for prolonged bouts, or to release all of it at once in a single massive blast.
He's also got his hero suit, which helps him sweat faster in order to build up stronger attacks. Or the Strafe Panzer, these badass turrets mounted to his back that store his sweat as ammo. With all of that, it wasn't long before Bakugo made his hero debut, called the Bombshell Hero, Great Explosion Murder God, Dynamite. Hey, I dig it. The more colons, the merrier.
But despite some early wins, Bakugo failed to live up to his own sky-high expectations. He had the makings of a great hero, if only he could get out of his own way and put the team before his ego.
Especially when he was kidnapped by the League of Villains, ultimately leading Bakugo to blame himself for All Might's retirement. Something needed to change.
So he vented his frustrations in a slugfest with Deku and realized
This was the hardest battle in my opinion.
something crucial. That the kind of
This was the hardest battle in my opinion. The way fucking Midoriya was putting up paws was, I'm just saying, legendary movements is all I'm saying.
absolute victory that defined All Might wasn't victory for himself, but victory for everyone.
He was starting to become the prodigy everyone knew he could be. I mean, hell, even while he was unconscious, he kept analyzing the fight he was in and coming up with counters. Somehow,
Bakugo's powerful enough to shatter Todoroki's heaven-piercing ice wall, fast enough to keep up with villains like Shigaraki, who can catch light beams, and tough enough to survive, well,
being dead? Yep, you heard us. Bakugo was killed, dead as a doornail. And then a single bead of sweat floating through his bloodstream detonated and restarted his heart. If that isn't main character plot.
Edgeshot was able to stitch Bakugo's injury organs, but together it was... I cannot stop yawning every time I see this. Explicitly Bakugo's immunal explosions that restart his heart and revive.
Armor, I don't know what is.
his stamina is perhaps the craziest thing about him. After all, he is tanking the recoil of all of his explosions.
Even with the overuse of his blasts literally tearing his body apart, he kept trying to make him stronger, and eventually his quirk awakened.
Essentially, when a quirk evolves to become stronger. Now, by condensing his explosions into smaller and more powerful clusters, Bakugo could enhance all of his techniques.
Like the Howitzer Impact Cluster, a stunning achievement in the field of explosionology, or kaboom theory for the layman.
Powerful enough to shatter the side of a mountain, or blow apart UA High itself. Judging by the school's size, we can estimate Bakugo's Howitzer Impact Cluster yielded over 300 kilotons of
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't even think Reze could do some damage like that. Let's be so real. That's what I'm saying. Like, this man Bakugo can one tap if needed. That's the one problem I'm having with this.
TNT.
Given Bakugo's whole deal is explosions, it makes sense to science out what a ton of TNT actually is. It's literally the energy contained in 1,000 kilograms of trinitrotoluene.
A chemical compound composed of hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon.
That's the recipe for kabooms. Now,
Tons of TNT is a unit of measurement often used in the real world to describe the energy contained in high-yield explosives like nuclear bombs. It can be useful to measure particular powerful feats. Yeah, that's
imagine a pile of TNT as big as the Empire State Building blowing up all at once. That's activates Bakugo's howitzer impact cluster.
And these explosions can launch him so fast, it's like time stands still around him.
Like when he covered a huge part of this city in a fraction of a second, almost 400 times the speed of sound.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, Reze is so cooked, but I'm still gonna believe she's gonna win this, dog.
And that's not all. Now he can detonate his sweat remotely and from all over his body, not just his palms.
With all of this crazy bullshit, Bakugo became one of the strongest heroes on Earth, enough to battle and defeat All Might's lifelong arch nemesis, All for One. Yeah, that's right.
And again, yes, exactly. A young All for One bro really beat that feat. Is that not crazy?
The main villain, who's the protagonist.
Guys, I'm getting so stressed. I do not think we're gonna win this. I gotta pray Reze has the biggest fucking explosive upper ass. If she has the tornado devil or something.
Is now Deku.
Bakugo literally and figuratively surpassed his childhood idol and proved his mettle as a hero.
Number 5 on the rankings and rising. Not bad, Kachan.
But more important than proving it to his friends, to All Might, or even to Deku, he proved it to himself.
Yeah, whatever. Take that, losers! Sickest quirk in the world over here! Dynamite! 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 Wiz, what happened to you? You look funny and squishy.
I'm over here, Boomstick. That's the new death metal plushie from U2's, and it's available to order right.
Oh, like the one they made of me a year ago. You got jealous, didn't you?
What? No, mine's way cuter. Look at it, and you can.
I wasn't trying
Conquest.
to skip that whole
Humanity
time.
has been plagued by all manner of ills since they first crawled out of the primordial ooze. In the world of Chainsaw Man, there is nothing to fear but fear itself.
Because fear itself is real, and they're called devils.
Literally devils from hell. These monstrous beings are the living embodiments of humanity's worst nightmares, and their power is directly proportional to that fear.
So the chicken devil might be so weak you could keep him as a class pet, like, you know, a chicken. But what about the bat devil, or the ghost devil, or the devil embodying man's fears of one of the greatest weapons it's ever created, the bomb devil?
Little is known about the origins of the Bomb Devil's current host, Reze, if that even is her real name.
She might look cute and kawaii, but she's actually a Soviet assassin trained from birth to be one of the deadliest killers on the planet.
You know, I just remembered somehow niggas found out that the creator of the Chainsaw Man was a gooner, and Reze was she was inspired by this gooner actress. And I'm like, how did somebody find that? You know how deep they had to go? I didn't look at the video. I saw a clip of it on Instagram of somebody explaining it, and I'm just like, you know how deep you'd have to go in to find a video that looks that old? I don't know. I thought that was crazy. But shit. Peak.
Planet, basically a Black Widow. A cold and lonely existence for anyone, but quadruply so in a world as effed up as this.
But all Reze wanted was a safe, normal, quiet life. As much a fable to her as Aesop's Country Mouse.
Too bad! You are now a walking, talking explosive. Have fun.
Boom.
At some point, the girl known as Reze was
Reze, please put up some crazy feats so we can win this, dog.
implanted with a fragment of the Bomb Devil and became a hybrid. A human possessing a devil's powers without sacrificing their humanity, transforming their body into a living weapon.
As a hybrid, Reze's strength and speed are way crazier than a normal human's, and with her martial arts training, she's a force to be reckoned with up close. Also, Wiz, check out the bomb for a head!
Someone like Reze would eat you alive, literally. Should devils like Reze take any damage whatsoever, they can heal by consuming blood.
And that lets
See, and that's why I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm screaming. Screaming, which is not needed. That's why I'm saying, if she just has blood on her on deck, she could win it as long as he does not one-tap her.
hybrids survive some pretty insane stuff, like having their limbs torn off, getting bisected clean in half, or being roasted alive. Just slurp some blood and they're good as new.
Especially useful considering the Bomb Devil's primary ability is literally blowing herself up. Reze can emit explosions from any surface of her body, even tearing off limbs and turning them into bombs that she can detonate at will.
Damn, that's
Does it hurt? Cause she hold on, I'm looking it up. I'm quite curious. Hurt. They're in pain each time.
hardcore. She can use these blasts to jet through the sky at hypersonic speeds, maneuver
probably
and
saved
redirect
in the
herself in
manga,
midair,
that's good.
and enhance the strength and speed of her blows.
Or Reze can send sparks that can ignite the atmosphere in explosions that tear apart entire cities, making herself stronger the more fear her wanton destruction creates.
As long as the area around her is dry enough to maintain ignition, Reze can create as many explosions as she wants, non-stop.
She can even turn her
Humanity fears her. Fear of her not only enchants her explosive power, but her physical power as well. She's able to shrug off an attack from the violence fiend who specializes in physical strength.
own body into different types of real-world bombs to massively enhance their power.
Like transforming her leg into a torpedo or her apron into dynamite. Every single inch of Reze is a living weapon.
This made her feared across the devil world as one of their mightiest warriors, and the perfect choice to assassinate Japan's newly acquired devil hybrid, Chainsaw Man.
You see, you might not think chainsaws are all that scary, at least not compared to bombs, but the Chainsaw Devil is special.
Any devil the Chainsaw Devil consumes becomes deleted from reality, retroactively erased from humanity's collective consciousness.
And here I thought chainsaws were for boring stuff like trees or Texas massacres. Silly me.
This ability makes the Chainsaw Devil the most important being alive and invaluable for any global power to control.
Except instead of meeting the fearsome chainsaw of legend, Reze met Denji, a dumb, horny teenage boy just looking for someone, anyone, to love.
And for once, Reze actually hesitated. Rather than immediately kill her target, she got to know him and found they weren't so different.
They were meant for each other, nigga. Oh, and the fucking creator wants to be like, oh, who didn't make them together?
Both were used as tools of the state, as weapons of war rather than people. A kindred spirit in a hostile world, Denji wanted to drink up as much of the excitement of life as he could. The town mouse to her country mouse.
And thankfully, he was super easy for a pretty face to manipulate.
It wouldn't be the only time.
Reze's nothing if not professional, and she gave Denji one parting gift. To teach him the way devils did battle before he died.
As the embodiment of one of the deadliest weapons known to man, Reze's power is off the charts, capable of creating an explosion more than 400 meters in diameter. That's over 4 football fields long.
To have a blast that size, you'd need to be exploding with over 2 kilotons of TNT.
More than comparable to nuclear weapons, which is really impressive considering Reze is not the devil of nuclear bombs.
See, I was gonna ask that too. Okay, question's been answered. Let's go.
That's apparently an entirely separate thing.
Despite her bombs being technically conventional, they're just that strong.
Likely comparable to other powerful devils like the Gun Devil, who could travel across the world and kill millions of people in 5 minutes.
That'd be over 500 times the speed of sound.
She's even stronger than the Typhoon Devil, a sentient city-spanning storm.
The literal coughing baby to her hydrogen bomb.
Unfortunately for Reze, Denji took her lessons to heart and proved he was more than a fitting host for the Chainsaw Devil.
He whooped her ass, but spared her life, just in case her seduction wasn't a total act after all.
But it wasn't meant to be. Whether Reze chose the safe life of the country mouse or the exciting life of the town mouse, there are hungry cats everywhere.
Oh, Makima, what I would give to find someone to kill you.
Reze's dreams of freedom were never realized. She simply changed hands from one cold, unfeeling entity to another. And this time, there was no escape. She was a weapon, a symbol of man's bottomless capacity for malice and self-destruction.
A living bomb.
I'm just sad now. But Okay. First, another.
The battle's about to start, and I.
Wesley, please. They said what scares me. She says the explosion is damn near to a football field, but this boy Bakugo was able to shoot some of the whole high school or UA or ground of what area it was. He was able to make a bigger explosion than that. I'm scared, dog.
I hope you got something good to hear these kabooms with, like our sponsor, Raycon.
That's right, Boomstick. I've been using Raycon for...
I'm sorry.
It's time for a death battle!
Already.
I've been sent to collect your head, Dynamite.
Better villains than you have tried, lady. You tell your bosses that after I send you back in a coffin!
How would I tell them that if I was already dead? Wow, you're quick.
Shut up and die!
You swapping animation? Eating up. Eat those.
Damn! Oh, damn!
You can't beat her in combat, bro. We eat those though, we eat those.
Move it or lose it, people!
Save me, Dynamite!
Let go of me!
Damn. Damn, Bakugo was just...
Save me, Dynamite!
Let go
Oh,
of me!
bitch! That's what she basically damn near said. Damn.
Boom.
Okay, wait, regen, bro. That was regen. Easy, bro. I'll make you. We got health
Leave
now.
them out of this!
For what it's worth, Dynamite, your
Oh
blood
my
was
God.
delicious.
I'm sorry. Oh my god, the flame. We are cooked. You're so good.
You bit off a bit more than you could chew! My blood isn't the only thing you drank! It's my sweat you should worry about, dumbass!
Oh my god, that was a good move.
I'm aiming for absolute victory! Howitzer! Impact! Cluster! Scratch that. Not enough for a coffin.
I knew we were gonna lose, but I just had hope. This man had too many feats on his hands. It was obvious. I was just praying on the heels to work, dog. Fuck. They going crazy on him too, dog.
Oh, Denji, we're so sorry to hear about your girlfriend that passed away. She gets 5 big booms. Boom!
Bro.
Boom!
Please just shut up. On the surface, these two seemed evenly matched. So let's break this fight down into 3 categories: their speed, their stamina, and their firepower.
First up, let's talk speed.
Both Bakugo and Reze could rocket through the sky at hypersonic speeds and maneuver and redirect themselves on a dime in the middle of fights. To the casual observer at least, they'd seem to be on par with each other.
So we have to look at the people they've fought to compare.
Reze has battled Chainsaw Man, who could match and defeat
Honestly,
someone
not
using the
reading it,
Gun
I'm
Devil's
being
power.
depressed
The
right
same gun devil that could literally fly around the world, killing millions of people at over 500 times the speed of sound.
Impressive, but compare that to Bakugo fighting Shigaraki, who could react fast enough to catch light beams with his bare hands.
That's over 1,000 times faster. And that was before Bakugo's quirk Awakening that made him even faster than that.
With reaction speed of that caliber, there's little chance Reze could ever get the drop on Bakugo, and would likely be forced to play catch-up in a duel. Speed goes to Bakugo.
However, speed doesn't matter if one couldn't truly hurt the other. A big part of this fight is their stamina.
Bakugo's durability is mind-boggling. He's survived being impaled through the torso and has even brought himself back to life.
But unlike Reze, his stamina does eventually hit a limit.
And he got helped. Let's be real. He got helped he got saved by I don't know, tiny nigga or whatever his name is.
Explosion he makes whittles him down just a little bit more and uses up more and more of his sweat. Without a break, he can eventually run out.
Whereas Reze can effectively create bombs without respite, and from a distance.
Unlike Bakugo, who usually likes to get up close and personal.
Furthermore, her devil hybrid physiology gives her an actual regenerative healing factor, allowing her to shrug off the same kind of mortal blows that would eventually kill Bakugo, main character plot armor or not.
If this ever became a war of attrition, Reze had it in the bag. Stamina goes to Reze.
However, it's unlikely it would ever get to that point. The biggest factor in this fight was always going to be their raw firepower.
Explosions! First, we gotta compare their two biggest blasts, Reze's nuclear-like bomb against Denji versus Bakugo's howitzer impact cluster.
And the difference is obvious. Based on calculating their sizes, Bakugo's 300 kiloton explosion was over 100 times more powerful than Reze's 2 kiloton blast.
But that's not all. Remember the Typhoon Devil?
Coughing baby or not, to create a storm big enough to cover Tokyo's over 2,000 square kilometers, he'd have to be generating more than 400 kilotons of TNT.
Greater than Bakugo, right? But that's not all. Again, Bakugo's howitzer impact once shattered the size of this big-ass mountain. And despite being earlier on in the series, it was ginormous, almost 3 kilometers in radius.
Or just over 2 megatons of TNT. 5 times more powerful than the Typhoon Devil, and way beyond anything we've seen Reze do.
And this was Bakugo before reaching his full power in his fight against All For One. Bakugo takes the final edge in explosions.
And remember, Bakugo withstands the recoil of all his blasts. So even though Reze had greater stamina, Bakugo was more than tough enough to hang on and get his kill shot, especially with his superior speed.
And devil healing factors can be overtaxed with enough damage. Hell, she needed to drink blood a couple times against Denji just to keep fighting.
Against someone as fast and powerful as Bakugo, she would not get the chance to heal consistently, or perhaps at all.
And what happens when devils die? They Bakugo to hell.
The winner is Katsuki Bakugo.
Bombshell, hero, great explosion, murder, god, dynamite!
I knew it.
Next time on Death Battle.
What the fuck?
Subscribe and
Gru versus what the fuck kind of battle is that? Battle of wits? I think that's obvious, doesn't that? I'm pretty sure that goes to Megamind. Whatever, that's for when that comes out. Anywho, that's about it, y'all. We lost. We take the L. Give a thumbs up, obviously. That's all I got for today. Y'all have a nice day. Peace.